Man, I wish I could just turn the camera on and I'm wearing that black jersey right now. I wish I could pull a David Nuno right now. Anybody order the jersey yet? Anybody cop it? Anybody get it? Dude, I did not think we would see the day so early into the post-Jimbo era where we get the alternate jersey. I don't know if it's perfect. I'm not going to lie, though. I freaking like it. I really, really like the new jersey. It's clean. It's like kind of monochrome. I want to see the big picture. I want to see the pants. I want to see the helmet. Are we going to go silver helmet? We're going to go chrome helmet? Chrome dome? We're going to go black helmet? Dude, they could do so many things. It's black. It's like you could have a white helmet. White helmet's coming back. Some people want it. I don't know if they wanted to release it right away. I don't know if it was their goal to release I think it's for the LSU game. We'll talk about how we know that in a second. I think they wanted to keep it under wraps, but I think the Aggie bookstore leaked it, man. I don't think they were wanting to announce a week 8 jersey right before the season because I don't think they're wearing it for Notre Dame. So if you didn't know, the way this whole jersey situation shook out, the Aggie bookstore leaked it on a post, and I think they put some up in the bookstore. People took pictures, started circulating social media, and then all of a sudden, you get little hints from the A&M official football page, like a little zoomed in picture of the jersey square. Then they're doing a teaser, and then all of a sudden they're announcing this jersey, and we're just like, oh my goodness, just start the season already. We can't take this anymore. And guys, I have to admit, I bought one. I bought one this morning. As soon as I saw it, as soon as I found out it was available, they made it available right away. I paid the steep price. But that was because I had some money made available to me, and I'm going to tell you guys all about that. I had a bit of a dramatic situation these last couple of days in regards to my Aggie football fandom. Yes, my Aggie football experience was in jeopardy yesterday, sort of. A bit of a headache, a bit of a head scratcher. My trip to Notre Dame for the opening game, I got put on the line. I'm going to talk to you guys about it, but let's say what's up to everybody in the chat. How are you guys doing? Another week closer to the kickoff of this season. It's got to stop. Like this preseason hype cycle, it's like the same roller coaster every year, right? Like you've seen the memes, like disappointing season, some positive stuff throughout the offseason, promising players growing up, analyzing the team, predicting the team, talking season. And all of a sudden, we're on top of the world again, and I think we're on 100-0. And of course, every little aspect I look at about this team, every time I deep dive further into this team, I get a little bit more excited. We have a couple of camp notes tonight, nothing too significant. It's been really tight-lipped this week. I think since the Reuben Owens situation, they've really tightened. They've really squeezed that door shut. I mean, it makes sense. It's a first-year program. You want to keep as much quiet as possible. We don't have much, but there was one little glimpse we got of something that I think you guys might find interesting. Some really strong detective work done by some of our insiders. I'll tell you about it in a second. We're going to talk about the drama that I had, and today is Q&A day. We're not doing calls. Any questions you want me to answer, anything you want me to address regarding the world of Aggie football, put it in the chat. We're going to do that tonight. We're also doing bold predictions. So whatever you throw me, we'll go for it. I have some bold predictions from Twitter, some bold predictions from the YouTube posts that I put out on the community page. We're going to go through those, but we're also going to go through the ones in chat. So you have anything you want me to bring up, anything you want me to talk about, throw it in there. And if you want me to tell you anything, any bold predictions of my own, let me know what you want to hear. But anyway, let's say what's up to everybody in chat. We got Jeb in here. Jeb's been waiting for black unis almost a decade now. And yes, they're very expensive. I had found money, and I'm going to tell you all about it in just a minute. I bought one with that found money. Shan Chewing's ready. Good to see you, man. Good to see you in here. Waiting for the Aggie Ice yet. The all whites? You want some all whites? The white helmet? It's been a while since we've seen a white helmet. That'd be nice. Good to see you, James. Teresa B back in the house. Good to see you, Teresa. She's back. Back. Jersey's going to be sick. I can't wait, man. I can't wait to wear mine. I can't wait to wear my black jersey. There's going to be one of these streams where Drew just shows up in the black jersey, and it's going to be glorious. I usually wear the black shirt anyway. We're going to throw down the black jersey on stream one of these days soon. Put out that 0-1 video of the Notre Dame game. Yeah, I saw a second of that. I didn't get to watch it because I was going into the show, but I'm excited to check that out. Very much excited. Remember that game live? I was probably 6 or 7 watching with my dad. Yeah, that's awesome. Josh Hernandez says they're clean AF. I agree. They're very clean. Clean's the good word for it. Not too flashy. Not doing too much. Not trying too hard. Just a simple blackout. I love it. I want to see the helmets, man. The helmets. I might buy a freaking helmet if I get stupid. Oh, they're awesome. This is exactly the reaction they want. They want to build that hype. They want to sell some jerseys. The 0-1 defense is probably the last of the wrecking crew with Slocum. Coming back this year, maybe? Coming back a little bit? Maybe. You ordered it, Jeb? You got it? Hell yeah, Jeb. I respect that. You wear that to the games. You got to pick a night game to wear that to, or else you're going to be sweating if you wear that for an afternoon game. Black helmet would hit. Just go all black with some, like, maroon accents, maroon and white accents. Oof. They got the chrome little emblems for the Adidas and the SEC. That's pretty nice. Maybe throw some chrome accent. I'm not writing off the possibility of a dark, like, chrome shiny helmet. That'd be kind of cool, too. Or the chrome lettering. I don't know. Shan Tuning got it, too. You got it today? You already bought it? You already have it in hand and it's fresh? That's beautiful, man. Congrats. I have to wait 5 to 7 days, apparently, for shipping. I wonder if the uniform will have hints of maroon. Okay, so I'll try to pull up the picture. They did post a picture with hints of maroon. So I don't really know what the hell we're looking at here. I'm gonna put it on screen right now because Alex Flo brings up a good little subject here. Let's do some investigating, huh? All right, let me recenter this. So they posted this very interesting puzzle piece post on their Twitter. Aggie Football did. Check this out. So you see the jerseys here, but then what is all this mess? Is this just gear, like additional gear? Are these the pants we're looking at here? Because there's a stripe of maroon right here. We have a maroon stripe down the side of the pants or something like that. What is this? Anybody know? Anybody crack the code here yet? I don't know. It's kind of exciting. I mean, we got one piece of it. There's 2 more pieces to unveil, and maybe they'll have some nice shoes or something too. Who knows what the hell they do. But yeah, I'd like some maroon accents. That'd be very nice indeed. Good to see you, Alex. I miss when we had the state outline on the helmet. Hey, they could do that with this. That would look nice. A white state outline. Be pretty clean. 2 more weeks, baby. 2 more weeks. Good to see you, Henry. Jeb says, where'd Jeb go? Will they wear all maroon against Notre Dame like they did in 0-1? I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. I could see them just going classic jersey, maroon helmet, maroon jersey, white pants, just to get like a classic looking matchup between the two, like pretty storied, like pretty big programs going head to head that don't play each other very often. I like that they chose LSU for the blackout because LSU's a team you play all the time. It wouldn't work for the Texas game because like you want to see those jerseys in their natural state go head to head. I think the same goes for Notre Dame. I like the selection of LSU, but hey, all maroon's pretty classic too, and that is an homage to the 0-1 game, so that's not bad at all. James Ellis, good to see you, man. I read Reed Adams is potentially going to play right tackle. You may have read correctly. I do miss the swaggy jerseys during the Sumlin era. Yeah, some of those were nice. What was your favorite one in the Sumlin era? You like the reflective ones during the day, or the neon day ones? That was interesting. Who's playing if Connor goes down? I'll get into that. I'll save that one for the Q&A portion. That's a good question, Henry. I do like the chrome jerseys from 2015 in the Vandy game. Anyone? Yeah, I remember the helmet at least. That would be a nice helmet to go with these, honestly. Those Vandy helmets, those are pretty nice. Teresa B, don't tell me she made you sell your ticket. No, that's not what happened. That's not my drama I'm dealing with. Oh, we'll get into it in just a second. Tuning got the leak. Remember jerseys were $70 when they first switched to the SEC? Yeah, man. Things have gone up. And they knew these would hit today, so 130 it is plus shipping. I think maroon helmet with black jerseys, white pants could look good too. Interesting. I kind of like maroon helmet. Honestly, all black with like maroon accents, white Texas outline on the helmet. How about a script Aggies on the helmet? I saw Robert Barron's put that out. That's an interesting one too. I'd like that too. 2012 Mississippi State jersey is still my favorite. The 14 icy whites for sweet too, or the glow-in-the-dark black helmets in 15. Those are all good. All right, guys. Good to see you all in here. I want to get into my drama. Just to let you know, keep you updated. This is part of my story. This is part of my A&M story. So, Notre Dame game. I always make it a point for one game weekend, one game day a year, I spend the weekend in College Station. I love going back. You reminisce. You visit the old spots. A couple restaurants I like to go to. If we win the game, I like to walk Northgate afterwards. I don't want to get in line and deal with Northgate, but I want to walk it and feel the vibes. I'll take some videos. I love that. I love being there. And like the night before, I'll walk around campus. I'll do some stuff around campus. It's good. It's getting the vibe of the season. Week 1, that was my plan for Notre Dame. I was going to get there Friday afternoon, leave work early, spend the evening there, go to game day in the morning, watch football all day from whatever bar I can find with a bunch of TVs, go to the game early and sit there, just have a good time. Had an Airbnb. I scheduled it about 3 months ago. Yesterday, I get an alert from the host of my Airbnb in College Station, dog-friendly spot, big yard, nice location. Abruptly have to cancel my booking. And if you're not familiar with the Airbnb market in College Station, they go like that once the schedule's announced. They're gone. So we're 3 weeks out from the game. They cancel my reservation. And they tell me their current guest has COVID. Therefore, they have to cancel me in 3 weekends. So instantly I'm like, whoa. What are we doing here? You have COVID right now. They have to extend because they have COVID. First of all, why does COVID make them have to extend? Okay, maybe a couple days. They're not feeling good. They want to hang out before they have to travel whatever distance to go home. But 3 weeks later and just canceling before even talking to me about it felt pretty bad. So we're scrambling, trying to figure out what we're going to do. And it's feeling like we're not having a College Station weekend. It's feeling like I'm driving from San Antonio directly to the game. We're not feeling the week 1 vibes. We're not doing the whole big picture weekend. Kind of a bummer. Looking at options, nothing within an hour that's reasonably priced. Everything is jacked up because it's last minute pricing. Even the smallest townhome, understandably so, just playing the market, really expensive for us. The smallest townhome, which would be fine for our needs, but out of our budget. I go to X, I say, hey, this is kind of a weird situation, right? This is fishy, right? Like, I don't know if this is a good enough reason to cancel a guest last minute. This feels like maybe they wanted the property for themselves. And it's within their rights. They take the penalty. It's their property. Kind of a crappy thing to do. Whatever. This post blows up. Aggie faithful are amazing people. I love you guys. You're amazing. So many people offering their couches, offering their spare bedrooms, offering their houses because they're gone for the weekend or they're busy for the weekend, saying I could stay there. Amazing people. But I'm bringing dogs. I'm bringing my fiance. It's hard just to go stay on a couch or a spare bedroom with all that I'm bringing. Airbnb, the Airbnb account, DMs me on X, says, we'd like to take care of this for you. Will you provide your email? I provide my email. This morning, they call and they offer to cop the entire room, whatever we want in College Station. So now we're back on. We're going to the game this weekend. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to the Aggies. Thanks to the 12th man, the Aggie Network, my brothers and sisters in maroon. Y'all made the post go viral. Airbnb saw it. Airbnb totally took care of the situation. I'm going, and I'm paying half of what I would have paid for the smaller, affordable room for one of the last minute. It's not like a fancy place, but it suits our needs. It's good. But I have extra money now. And you know what I did? I bought the jersey. So thank you guys. Thank everybody who commented or even read the post. That's an impression that helps push the post out there. It wasn't my intention. I just wanted to get feedback and see like, okay, this is weird, right? Like this is a fishy situation. Airbnb saw it because it went viral enough. So that's on you guys. I really appreciate you all. And you guys, without realizing it, you got me a black jersey. I wasn't going to, cough up the money right away the morning it comes out. I was going to think about that and maybe save a little bit, weigh things out. But you know what? Extra money, that's going back into my Aggie fandom. So once again, I got so lucky. Thank you guys. Well, I don't know. I got screwed, then I got lucky. So it balances out. It's baseline. Notre Dame weekend is on, guys. Notre Dame weekend is on. Let's see what you guys are saying real quick. You got to do Northgate before the game. I don't know if I can go before the game, man. I gotta, play things out and chill a little bit because I'm going to college game day. That's going to be high energy. I'm going to watch games all day. I got to conserve some energy, man. I'm waking up at like 7 to go to game day, so we'll see. Airbnb's a bitch to get in College Station. Absolutely. I live an hour away. You can stay in my spare bedroom. Just keep my Bulldog company. Yeah. Damn, Drew blowing up. Y'all blew it up. It wasn't me at all. I really appreciate you guys. If any of you here were part of that, or regardless, thank everybody. Teresa B says, whoa, yeah, that was an amazing 12th man story situation. I had to share it. It was just incredible. I was blown away. But yeah, guys, it was really cool. All right, couple of notes that I want to get through before we get to the Q&A and bold predictions. Once again, this is the Q&A and bold predictions episode. Probably the last one of these we'll do before the season. So if you have any bold predictions, throw them in the chat. Any questions you want me to address, throw it in the chat. I see some of you guys are already in there. We'll get to them in a second. I'm going to go through my Twitter ones and my other YouTube posted ones. Then I'll get to the chat last. So he'll have time to put it in there. But bold predictions, questions, throw them in there. A couple of notes we want to go through. It was announced today that the ADs of Texas and Texas A&M are holding a joint press conference in Houston. Trev Alberts, Chris Del Conte. Held in Houston. Invitation only. Select media members are going. It's got the idea machine churning, right? Like you have the ADs with a joint meeting right before the season for this rivalry that's being renewed this year. What could it be? Things like, are we going neutral site? That was a question that was being tossed around. Neutral site? Lone Star Showdown? Aggies versus Texas? I don't think so. Insiders have shot that one down. I think we can confidently say that's not what this is about. Maybe they're moving the game to Thanksgiving. That hasn't been shot down yet. Do you guys feel good about that game on Thanksgiving, or is that too much travel in a kind of a family day, a holiday situation? Some people don't like that. I'm actually all for that. Now, there's no confirmation or denial that that's the case, but that, I guess, could be on the table for an announcement at this meeting. You have to assume it's regarding that game and that matchup in some capacity. But I do believe that this meeting is about some sort of presenting sponsor taking this game. The Lone Star Showdown presented by whichever company. Maybe it's Buc-ee's. Maybe it's H-E-B. Maybe it's some company. I don't know. I think that is the main reason for this. There have been hints that that's the reason. Brent Zwernerman of the Houston Chronicle, he's a pretty plugged-in insider, very plugged-in insider. He hinted that it's going to be a sponsorship announcement, but who knows what else could be announced. Are we going to do like a neutral baseball game, a neutral basketball game? Look out for that next Thursday. There's going to be some buzz about the rivalry. They're meeting in Houston on Thursday. Interesting day. If you're getting your tinfoil hat on and going conspiracy mode or like trying to read too much into things, maybe they're announcing it's moving to a Thursday, a Thanksgiving Thursday. I'm all for it. That's classic. And you know what? I need something to do other than stuffing my face on a couch, laying on a couch locked at the end of Thanksgiving. I'd love to have to go to a game on Thursday or watch a game. I'll burn calories just watching because my heart rate will be at 150 the whole time. That's an update. One small fall camp tidbit that we got. As you've seen, I think fall camp has kind of tightened their grasp on information coming out this week. Not much has come out. We haven't had a coach presser in over, I think, a week now. I think the next presser we're getting is on Saturday. But we're getting these little cut clips of like the mic'd up Aggies from camp, which is pretty cool. We got Nick Scorton mic'd up, Shamar Stewart mic'd up, Connor Wigman mic'd up in this last social media post that they put out. And in that video, we saw Connor running with what can only be assumed are the ones. And we got a glimpse of the right tackle and right guard situation. And at right tackle, Jeb was on it in the chat. Armaj Reed Adams manning the right tackle spot, rumored before, confirmed by this picture. At right guard, not Cam Dewberry, Mark Naboo. Mark Naboo played a lot by now, healthy last year. Dewberry still coming off of injury. I'm sure he's still battling through that, finding consistency. And it's rumored that at center, it's Kolinu, how do you say it? Fawi? I've been saying Fawi, but I think it's Fayu. Kolinu Fayu. Yeah, the transfer out of Utah starting at center is what the assumption is right now. So we're kind of getting a glimpse of what that O-line might look like. You're looking at Trey Zune, Chase Basantis, Fayu, Naboo, Armaj Reed Adams. I feel good about that starting five, although I wish you would have gotten one of those prototype right tackles to win that battle out and end up on top there. I think Armaj Reed Adams presents a really good floor to any position that he plays. Maybe he's not the most high-end right tackle, but I definitely don't think he's a negative there. I think he might even be a slight positive in that position. He's played multiple positions in his career. His natural position is guard, but at right tackle, that's a solid player right there. And then you still have your prototype tackle at left tackle in Trey Zune. I feel good about that 5. It's going to be about, and forgive me for using this word, execution, getting those line calls right, playing consistently. But I like the 5. I feel pretty damn good about the 5. You bring in experience that you wanted from the transfer portal in Fayu from Utah and Armaj from Kansas. Those are 2 seniors. Those are 2 guys that are just, they instantly raise the floor when they enter your program. And then some guys you're pretty confident in on the left side of that line. And then Naboo, and I would assume that Dewberry's still in that battle for right guard. How do you guys feel about that? I think it's a nice little glimpse. We also saw Cyrus Allen running with the ones a little bit in that slot position alongside Ja'Day Walker, Noah Thomas, and Trey Watson at tight end. So right now, that's kind of your rough starting 11 on offense. But we have a major scrimmage coming up this weekend. I think they're kind of calling this the end of like the true grind of fall camp. Next week, they're supposed to be getting into Notre Dame stuff. So I think the final decisions about these position battles will kind of be made this weekend, and things could still change between then and the start of the season. So see how things shake out. But I think that's a good kind of rough draft to look at as your starting 11 on offense. Those are the updates, guys. That's what I have for you update-wise. Now we're going to get into the chat one more time, and then we're going to get into the question and answer and bold prediction segment of the show. Jeb says he personally loved the game on Thanksgiving. I do too, man. It's part of the holiday, in my opinion. We grew up with it. It just feels right. It's the biggest college game of the week when it's on Thanksgiving every time. Everybody watches it. Social media is a mess during that game, which is awesome. Although I wasn't as deep into the trenches of Twitter back then. It'll be a whole new shit show now. Kind of exciting. I'm here for it. I'm here for all the toxicity, especially if we win. If we lose, I'm deleting the app. But you know how that goes. I'm so for the game on Thanksgiving. It's like a one-off. That's when the game is meant to be, in my opinion. Jeb says, just sucks. We had high hopes for Fathery. Yeah, I know. Maybe he can still win out or do something there, but who knows what happens? He could stay one more year. I think he got a red shirt last year, and the injury, I don't know. He might have another year of eligibility left if he wants it. I could see a world where he gets it. And maybe next year's the year, because I think Armaj is going to be out of eligibility. So let's see what happens. He might be in a substitution role. And the cool thing is, with that starting 5, you can bring in Fathery or Crown over at right tackle. I would assume one of those guys is the emergency backup left tackle. You could bring in Dewberry to either right guard, center, probably left guard as well. You could say the same for Naboo. You could say the same for Armaj. You could say the same for Fayu, whatever. TJ Shanahan, he's an up-and-comer. He's going to be the future of this O-line. He's going to be a player within the next 2 years on this O-line, a mainstay, a main piece. He's made waves in his development. He's a guy that can substitute if needed. Lots of things can happen there. Lots of substitutions, lots of flexibility. And that's kind of a staple of a Mike Elko roster is versatility. We saw it when he was here before with that D-line, with that secondary, moving players around, okay with doing that. That's really cool to see on that O-line. So, sucks, yes. I wish we had the prototype right tackle, but Armaj is solid, man. 6'5", big boy, experienced. Yeah, I think it's a positive, man. It's why you bring a guy like that in. Guess Fathery fell off the same wagon that Foster did. I don't know if he's that far off the wagon. I can still see a world where he rebounds, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's sad that Fathery or Crownover couldn't get the job done. I like to look at it. Reed Adams is just that. True. I mean, it's possible Reed Adams is just that guy. It's his last year in college. Maybe you can't keep him off the field. And he's a guy that's drawn praises since he got here in spring. Everyone's talked about him, players and coaches alike. Insiders have talked about him. He was positive since he stepped foot on campus. Was hoping to get an update on the Troy receiver. Oh, I'd love to get an update. With him being ahead of schedule, who knows? Maybe he's back by Florida. That would be huge. This offense is begging for some explosive players. And everybody you have can be explosive, but I don't know if that's like, I would look at Noah Thomas as like your home run threat with the ball in hand. Underrated with the ball in his hand as a playmaker, but that's not really his thing. Ja'Day has some good open field speed. I don't know if that's his thing yet. He can develop into it. Moose, if he finds consistency, can definitely be that guy, but we haven't seen that yet. Barber was one of those guys. Unfortunately, Owens was one of those guys. Terry Bussey could be one of those guys if he gets some select packages on offense. We'll talk about that. A bunch of questions and bold predictions about Bussey tonight. We'll get into those. Who's our Aggie game day guest? That's a great question. Who would we want it to be? Wouldn't it be awesome if it was Johnny Football? Johnny Manziel is the week 1 guest. Everyone would love that. That'd be amazing. Are they going to wear all maroon versus Texas? That's a good one, too. Notre Dame getting exposed. Let's go. The first Notre Dame in this chat. I love it. Is Armaj a junior? Is he? I thought he was a senior. I'll look it up in a minute. Ruben definitely taking a medical red shirt. Absolutely. I think Ruben just isn't physical enough and injuries can set players back. I see Bussy playing on offense now. It's very possible. Very possible. All right, guys. Thank you very much for being here. If you haven't liked and subscribed, if you could do that. Right now, we're at 30 viewers, 7 likes. Can we get the likes up to 20 right now? That would really help a show like this out. Appreciate you guys for being here. We're going to get into the question and answer portion of the show, starting with our questions from X and Hot Topic. We'll probably have a couple of these. And if there's kind of overlap in these questions, I'll go through them quickly as we see them subsequently. First question. Do you see Bussy going straight cornerback or more of a Sproles type player? Sproles was a returner. He was a receiver. He was a running back. He could do everything. Yes. I think they've never wavered from the idea, guys, that Bussy's going to play some offense. Since the day he was signed, Elko has been saying he will play in certain packages on offense. That was the lingo since he got on campus, the lingo since he put pen to paper. And that probably gets accelerated a little bit now that Ruben Owens is out, because you need big play, explosive, electric players on offense. You need that stuff. And Bussy's one of those guys. I found out that Bussy's first touch in high school as a varsity player was a kick return for a touchdown. So Owens was a kick returner. Owens is gone. I think Bussy might be your game 1 kick returner, guys. That's going to be electric and exciting. And I think Bussy might have been returning kicks next to Owens week 1 regardless. And now he is the guy returning kicks. So you're going to see Bussy return kicks. I think they'll ramp it up throughout the year. I think in Notre Dame, I would be surprised if we don't get a couple of Bussy packages on offense. Now, don't get me wrong. He's not lining up as a running back. That's not happening. He's not a down-to-down receiver, I don't think. But he's sure as hell going to get some looks, I would believe. But on that same token, in that same line of thinking, while they have not wavered from the fact that Bussy's going to get some packages on offense, Elko has also not wavered from the idea that we need to realize this is a true freshman, guys. I don't think you're going to lean on him every play, and I think I've kind of made that known, at least in my opinion. I don't think he's going to be a down-to-down offensive player. I don't think you can throw a player at corner and say, hey, you're also going to play every snap on offense. So look at select specific packages for Terry Bussy. Not down to down, but right now, I would be pretty confident to say he plays some reps on offense. Bold prediction. Our first bold prediction. Aggies beat both Notre Dame and TU by double digits. All right, we're putting the cart way ahead of the horse here on the TU one because we need the lots to play out between now and then. Notre Dame. I'm not making my official prediction tonight. But looking at their offensive line, it's looking like they're going to be starting some freshmen. It's looking like they're going to have about 10 or less combined starts on that offensive line game 1 in Kyle Field. They're breaking in a new quarterback. They're breaking in a new offense with Mike Denbrock at the helm of that offense. Good coordinator, though. A lot of learning on the fly week 1 with a young, raw offensive line in a hostile environment like Kyle Field. This defense could put in some work versus Notre Dame, specifically the defensive line. Now, this receiver core from Notre Dame has been drawing praises from camp, maybe a little bit better than expected. But if the quarterback doesn't have time in the backfield, Nick Scorton, the Shamars, DJ Hicks, whoever's playing, Cassius Howell, Rylan Kennedy, I think these guys are busting out of the gates week 1. And honestly, I think there's a world where A&M can win by around 10 points. I mean, I'm not predicting that. If we're going to do the Josh Payton, put this on the boldness scale, this isn't that bold. I would put this at like a 7.5, 8 if we're going Josh Payton on this. I think there's a world where that can happen. Now, the TU game right now, I'm looking at that as like a fist fight right now. Emotional, matching blow for blow. Both teams playing their best games of the season, performing at their absolute height. I can't predict a double-digit win right there. That's an extremely bold one right there. If you're combining both, that's extremely bold. But right now, the Notre Dame game, I could see a world where A&M wins by about 10, but I'm not predicting that just yet. I just think that's very much on the table. Obviously, A&M could still lose that game. but there's a world where A&M has their way defensively. It's coming down to the offense, right, early in the year. How quickly do they pick up Colin Klein's scheme? How quickly is Connor Wigman ready to go coming off that injury? Where's this O-line at? Who are the playmakers? Here's another bold prediction. We will have an uninjured quarterback by Game 5. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say that's happening because I am not believing that we're going to have an injured quarterback this year. It's just not going to happen. First of all, improved O-line play. Second of all, Tommy Moffitt improving the O-line, helping with Connor's recovery, making sure Connor's 100%. This isn't that bold. But the fact that you brought it up scares me. Let's not jinx this situation here. We're dealing with one quarterback this year, people. That's all we're doing. That's all we want. That's all we need. Not bold at all, but thanks for throwing it out there. There is no way we win less than 8 games. Unfortunately, there is a way. There's a way we lose less than 8 games. Look, so how I feel right now, I'm getting really, really high on this defense, folks. I'm thinking we're going to see one of the best defenses we've seen in the last 5 or 6 years. This is going to be on par with 21 and 20. That's how I'm feeling about this defense right now. This offense, I feel like it's going to be good, but is it elite? Is it game-changing? Is it putting us over the top? I don't know. I don't know yet. That's something we have to see to really believe. But right now, I'm really believing in this defense. Having said that, we know the schedule. It hits you regularly. There are no juggernauts. There are no major pitfalls. But every game is losable, pretty much. I would say Mississippi State is the game I feel most confident on the road in right now. But you could lose to South Carolina. They have some pieces. They have some pieces if A&M doesn't play to their best that game. You could lose to Auburn the week before the Texas game. Auburn has some pieces. You could lose to Florida. That's well documented. We've talked about it. It's the first road game under Mike Elko with a team that hasn't learned how to win on the road, with a Florida that's still going to be alive by then and still have something to play for. Even if they lose to Miami in week 1, they're desperate, but they're still alive. If they beat Miami, they're very much alive and they're feeling good. You're going to get a top-tier SEC environment at the Swamp week 3. I feel good about Mississippi State. Arkansas, I feel good about it, but I never feel great about it. It's a weird-ass game. Let's see what you guys are saying before we get into the next one. I just think if Bussy wants to see the field early, he has to play somewhere on offense. Absolutely. This DB room is deep, and there are some players with a lot of experience there. Will Lee, Tyreek Chappelle. He has his work cut out for him beating Des Ricks to get onto the field. Jaden Hill has a lot of experience. You have a lot of guys there. I mean, Javen Thomas is still there. You can't forget about him. He's prototype SEC body at corner. There's a reason they were confident enough to start him last year, and you were short in that room, players, but he was still the starter week 1. He still earned that. Javen Thomas, don't forget about him. Same can be said about Bravion Rogers. It's going to be tough for Bussy to see the field on defense. You're absolutely right, Jeb. And maybe offense is his best path, and I agree with you entirely. Troy says, I'm going to the Alabama-LSU game this year. Thankfully, A&M has a bye week that week. That's a good week. Yeah. I want to maybe go to the Cotton Bowl that week. It's the same weekend as the Cotton Bowl. That's a 4-hour drive from where I live. Hell, that'd be awesome. He's a young, true freshman, too, says Teresa. Absolutely. He has gained weight. He's up to like high 190s now, but he's young. You can't, you have him as a DB in camp. Are you going to go put him in a down-to-down position on offense as well right away? He'll be playing more offense as the year goes on, I think. Early in the year, it's select packages. Maybe it's like that the whole year, but I could see him ramping up throughout the year. I've heard Micah Tease is coming on strongly. That'd be a blessing for this team. You need as many bodies as you can there. I'm high on, I see some of y'all talking about Bostic, Isaiah Williams, Bethel Roman. I think all those guys have a chance to play. Who knows who it is, which one pops. I think I'm going to do another video, a second breakout candidate player. I did a breakout players watch list this week. I think I'm going to make a part 2 to that with some more obscure players that are less likely to hit, but players to keep on our radar. And I'd put all those receivers on there. Someone's going to have to hit in that room. New offense, new O-line on the road. Not a recipe for success for Notre Dame. Totally agree. Totally agree. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Wegman better than Ewers? Possibly. It's possible. All right. Let's get into some more of these before we get back into the chat again. Can the Aggies win now? By win now, I'm assuming you mean like have a chance to win a championship this year. Like right now win a championship. Look, if you're looking at the blue chip ratio, which is produced by Bud Elliott of 247 Sports and CBS, yes, A&M has the talent prerequisite to win it all. But you're looking at a long-ass journey with a year 1 head coach to get that done. a program that hasn't done it before. There's a lot that needs to happen really fast for that to be the case. I would say as far as tangibly possible, yes, but it's not likely to win at all this year. I wouldn't place bets on A&M winning at all, but making the playoff, that's on the table. I'm not predicting that, but it's on the table for A&M. There's a 10-win path for A&M this year. So can they win now? Sure, they can win now. I wouldn't bet on it. Good question. Rolly Mirabelle super chat on the $5. I really appreciate it, Rolly. Stream support. You're the man. Always appreciate that from you. Terry Bussey will have 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns, starting with Notre Dame. Bryce Anderson will be selected as all SEC safety. All right, 3 kick returns in 1 year. That's a higher mark than what Anias had at punt return. Higher mark than what A-Chain did at kick returns. That's the best kick returner we've seen at A&M for some time. You're asking that from a true freshman. I would feel more comfortable saying 1. I would bet that Bussey gets 1 this year. 3, that's a very, very bold. That's very, very bold. I'll just stick to the Josh Pate here. That's like a 9.5 on the boldness scale. Bryce Anderson being selected at all SEC safety, absolutely a path for him to get there first or second team, 100%. I think he is proven to be the leader of the secondary right now. Surefire starter game 1, playing his natural position of safety, showed really good stuff as a nickel, somewhat out of position for him. He's still good there, but he's going to be much better out in open field off the line of scrimmage. There's absolutely a path for all SEC consideration for Bryce Anderson. That's not so bold. I like it. Texas Hill Country says, every team at this point is pouring Kool-Aid about how good their team can be this year. Of course. Yes, I am. Trying to keep it even keeled. Why should or shouldn't we drink the Kool-Aid when it comes to Notre Dame? They think very similarly to us. Top 3D, questions at the O-line, and a solid quarterback, but need them to prove it out. Why should or shouldn't we drink the Kool-Aid when it comes to Notre Dame? Why should we drink the Kool-Aid? Well, I think I just went through that. Their shaky O-line play, breaking in a new quarterback, on the road, with A&M's amazing pass rush and defensive line overall. Solid DBs. I think A&M starts with a baseline of average at defensive back. With that pass rush, bumps it up automatically, and that's with upside in that DB room. So your path to why they should drink the Kool-Aid is that Riley Leonard's not going to have any time in the pocket. They're never going to get in their rhythm offensively. A&M might have trouble with that defense, but I feel like A&M could outpace them given the holes on Notre Dame's O-line. But on that same token, they're looking at our offensive line similarly to how we're looking at their offensive line, right? They look at our O-line as a line that has struggled the past 2 years, somewhat rebuilt with a new coaching staff, couple new starters, moving players around. Connor Wigman also coming off of injury, first start in a long time. That's their path to victory. They have a solid D-line in their own right, better on the interior. They kind of oppose us. They're kind of the opposite of us in that regard. While we're stronger on the outside, a little bit weaker on the inside, they're stronger on the inside, a little bit weaker on the outside. Surefire, top-tier defensive back group for them. So our path to losing and their path to drinking Kool-Aid, they feel like they can stop us. They feel like they can shut down our receivers because none of our receivers are really proven on a consistent basis. So we're both looking at the same path to victory right now. I really like our offensive line over theirs right now. I know that's probably a bold statement. That's my bold statement. I think ours probably proves to be a little bit more reliable in that early season scenario. Great question, Texas Hill Country. But yes, we're drowning in Kool-Aid right now, even more so with the jersey announcement. Bold prediction. Le'Veon Moss is a top 5 SEC in terms of yards. All right, I will answer that with a bold prediction of my own. If Le'Veon Moss is healthy for 12 games this year, I guarantee you he's a top 5 SEC running back in terms of yards. Offensive line looks like it's going to take at least a moderate step forward. Colin Klein is going to use the hell out of his bell cow running back. He's going to run to set up the pass. We're going to be a run-first team, which is a little bit scary that you only have 3 running backs in the room. But that just means you have to lean on your top dogs even more. A lot of Moss, a lot of Amari Daniels, E.J. Smith in the house. Le'Veon Moss, I've called him an SEC bell cow for 2 years now, and if he's healthy this year, he will be a top 5 SEC running back in terms of yards. So, if he's healthy, this is not bold at all, in my opinion. Not at all. I think Le'Veon has everything you want from an SEC back. He just needs health. Bobby says, we go 9-3 and definitely win the first game and the last game of the regular season. That's a lot of things that have to happen for this prediction to come true. You're asking for a 9-3 record. You're asking for winning the Notre Dame game, winning the Texas game. Probably the two toughest teams on the schedule you're asking for right there, but they are both at home. The 9-3 part, definitely within the realm of possibility. Definitely on the table, within the likely outcome scenario. I would say right now, most likely, 8 or 9 wins on the year. That's where I'm at right now. So not bold there. Definitely winning the first and last game of the year is pretty bold. Like I said, a lot has to play out before we get to that Texas game. It's going to be a boxing match. It's going to be intense. Anything can happen in that game. And it's breaking out the whole new staff, a bunch of new players coming back in game one. So this is a very bold prediction, but there are pieces in there I could definitely see coming true. Thanks for submitting that, Bobby. Let's catch up with chat real quick before we get into some YouTube questions. Jeb says he's very excited about the two freshman receivers. You're talking about Bethel Roman and Isaiah Williams. They've gotten praises in camp, man. I mean, we have some guys at the top. You know Noah's going to get his touches. Jaday's going to get his touches. I think Jaday's been solid in camp. His issue last year was consistency with drops. He got better the home stretch of the season with that, and he's been good in camp. From all reports, no drop problems from Jaday Walker this camp. So those guys are going to get their touches. So it's tough for those freshmen to see the field, but someone has to be that fourth and fifth receiver, and those guys could be it for sure. Henry says, I think A&M goes 9-3 with a clutch win versus Texas to make the playoff. Very possible. 9-3, does that get us in the playoff? That in itself is a bold prediction. 9 wins getting you into the playoff. That's totally unprecedented, uncharted waters. I think we know 10 wins for an SEC team gets you in. But 9, that's border. I would lean not making the playoffs at 9, but with that last statement win on the year, who knows what the hell happens. Yes, I think Tease is more of a slot receiver. Talking about Tease, we were talking about him earlier. Yeah, I mean, I think Cyrus Allen and Moose Muhammad are probably ahead of them in that department. But if you go 4 wide, maybe there's a place for Tease out there. Very athletic, very fast player. We hope he doesn't have to see the field, though, which if he sees the field, that would mean that Moose or Cyrus Allen's not on the field, and you're kind of banking on Moose and Cyrus Allen this year. But in a sub role, awesome. K Ford has our offensive rating higher than our defensive rating. That feels like a mistake in my opinion. We'll have to see how that plays out, probably because of the rebuild in the secondary. Of course, I'm high on the secondary, but it's a full rebuild, guys. You got to see it play out with so many new players, for sure. I'm of the opinion we have a really good defense this year. I'm ready to say that. I'm predicting A&M has maybe the best defense they've had since Mike Elko's first tenure. That's my bold prediction. That's where I'm at right now, and I'm sticking to it until we see the team. Rolly says, yo, on vacay in Nashville, wanted to drop by and say what's up. Thank you so much for being here and dropping the $5, Rolly. You're awesome, man. Your support is always appreciated. You're also going to the A&M Arkansas game. I'll be there too, Troy. If you see me, give me a fist bump, say what's up. I'll be there. I haven't bought the tickets yet, but I'm making it happen. I always go to that game. It's the last one in Jerry World. I'm in the minority. I like that game. I like an excuse to go to Dallas, and that's my annual Dallas trip. Play to win in the house. Hey, Drew, late to the party. Welcome in. We're doing bold predictions and Q&A session. If you have anything, throw it in the chat right now. We'll get to it. I think our trio of receivers are slept on. Very possible. Very possible. If they're all consistent and they all stay healthy, I don't see why they can't be an upper echelon SEC receiver group. Maybe you don't have that go-to guy. I think they really want Noah to be that guy based on spring, based on them moving him around, based on them drawing up plays specifically for him, whether it's handoffs, RPOs, plays where he's the primary target. He could be a red zone menace, man. You keep talking about a ton of touchdowns for Noah Thomas this year. But I need Moose to find consistency. Moose represents our offensive upside. We need it to happen. Brent Zwernerman from the Chronicle predicted 10-2. That's huge. I didn't know that. And I think he's pretty plugged in and he knows his stuff. That's amazing to hear. I love to hear that, Teresa. Play to win sticks with 9-3. In Major Bowl. You're saying Major Bowl, but there are people that believe 9 wins gets you into the playoff. So at worst, you're in a major awesome bowl game there. At best, you maybe sneak into the playoff, especially if you beat Texas late, like the previous commenter was saying. I'm confident Elko will have a good D. This is probably the first year since Slocum we hired a defensive-minded coach. Yeah, and did y'all see that Texas Bob Shipley saying that we made a mistake hiring a defensive-minded coach? Oh yeah, we definitely shouldn't try to emulate Saban. We shouldn't try to emulate what Georgia did with Kirby. No, it's a bad choice. Bad choice. I haven't seen Sark win a bowl game yet, by the way. When do you think they wear the black unis? Oh, I forgot to mention. It got leaked that it's going to be the LSU game. The bookstore, just like they leaked the jerseys overall, just like they leaked their existence in an advertisement, they also said, buy your gear for the LSU game or something along those lines. So it sounds like that's the Halloween game. That's the couple days before Halloween. It sounds like LSU game. But my only issue with that, LSU game is currently at a flex slot, and I would hate to wear black jerseys in the middle of the day, kind of bring in some more heat to the players, maybe increasing exhaustion. And maybe some people scoff at that, but talking from experience, dark jerseys make you sweat and tire faster. So day games, you want to be wearing maroon or something lighter. But yeah, it's somewhat announced to be LSU. All right, let's get into some YouTube comments, and then we'll get into the chat, bold predictions, and questions. Can y'all see this? Yeah, y'all can see this. All right, Randy Brandenburg says, A&M beats TU twice this season, once in the regular season and once in the playoffs. That's the perfect season. That's what I want right there. You beat TU to end the year. We both end with 10 wins. We're both in the playoff. We get the round one game with them at home in Kyle Field. We play them again like 3 weeks later at home. We beat them twice. That's pretty damn bold. A lot of things have to shake out for two different teams. It's like a 9 on the boldness scale, 9.5. But I love it. Spicy Deluxe says, a D lineman named Shamar, not named Shamar or Nick Scorton leads the team in sacks. That's 9.9 on the boldness scale. Look, if it's not them, maybe it's Cassius Howell, third down menace. He's there in every passing play. Everyone else takes the attention. Cassius Cowell, super athletic edge rusher, prototype edge body. There's a chance, but this is like a 9.9 to me on the boldness scale. I think those three are going to fight for the leading sack player on the team. Moss has 1,000 yards rushing this season. That's like a 7.5 on the boldness scale. That's very much on the table. If he stays healthy, he's 1,000-yard back. That's what I'm sticking with. Connor Wigman throws for 24 touchdowns and 3 INTs. The 24 touchdowns, I would say that's likely if he's healthy. If he's healthy the whole year. 3 interceptions, playing a full season, that would be a tough marker to hit. So overall, that's like a 9 on the boldness scale because of 3 INTs. But if you're just talking touchdowns, that's like a 5 to me. That's almost definitely going to happen in my humble opinion for Connor this year. I think 24 touchdowns is doable for Connor Wigman. Thanks for submitting that, Spicy Deluxe. Great name, by the way. I always go for the spicy chicken. What would be A&M's biggest improvement compared to last season? Cornerback, 100% cornerback. Last year, you were going into the season. That was one of your main question marks. It was corner, and it was offensive line. You 100% addressed corner in the portal. Whether it's BJ Mays, whether it's Tyreek Chappelle, whether it's Des Ricks, whether it's Javen Thomas, you're going to be better. You're going to be better at corner no matter what. Even if corner hits the floor of what they could be this year, they're better than last year. I don't think that's a bold statement, right? I don't think that's a bold statement at all. So I'm going for corner room. Second highest chance of having this accolade would be the offensive line, just because they have so much room to improve. But if the offensive line improves and we have an above average offensive line, we're going to the playoff, guys. That's how I feel about this team. You get above average O-line play, you're in the playoff. You get average offensive line play, you're winning 9 games, maybe fringe playoff chances for sure. Offensive line, I'm sticking to it. It swings not only the offense, but the team on the year. There'll be a couple shootouts this year, guys. I think Missouri can score on our defense. As good as our defense might be, Missouri has a legit offense. You have to score on what I think will be a lackluster defense with Missouri. Same could be said for LSU. Same could be said to Texas, although Texas will have a better defense than either of those teams. So you're going to have to score. You need the O-line. Vast2048 says, would you rather win the LSU, Missouri, Notre Dame games with a loss to Texas, going 11-1, or beat Texas and lose those other 3 and go 9-3? I am so strongly on board with going 11-1 in that scenario. Look, it's just a Texas game. It's one game, man. If you're 11-1 and you lose that game, it's gonna feel bad. It's gonna suck. They're gonna have bragging rights, but you're freaking 11-1 in year 1 under Mike Elko, guys. 11-1 all day. Give me those big home wins. You get 3 massive home wins with recruits in the building. Kyle Field packed and rocking. Year 1 of Mike Elko. That's an easy question for me. 11-1, losing to Texas. Totally on board with that. Thanks for submitting, Vast. Cecil Simmons, 6802. Texas beats Notre Dame by 10. We have this one already, and I don't think it's that bold. I think if A&M wins, if A&M's good enough to beat Notre Dame, they're winning by around 10 points, 7 to 10 points. That's what I believe. I mean, it's possible, right? I'm not saying it's likely. But if A&M's good enough to beat Notre Dame, they can win by 10. I think that's possible. I think A&M's defense could have put in some work versus what I think might be a struggling early in the season offensive line for them. Not ever let them get any rhythm on offense. Still a low-scoring game. You're talking like 24-13 kind of game, 24-14, 27-17 kind of game right in there if A&M is able to win by around 10 points. Not super bold. With the heat of August and the 12th man, this is just comments, and they're starting LT out, it's a solid win. That's my thought on it. Gig 'em. I love it. I love it, Cecil. And I'm pretty sure, guys, I think Cecil's like an OU or an Arkansas fan. I don't even think he's an Aggie because he was once upon a time talking trash to us here. So that's a pretty high marker from an opposing fan. Let's catch up with chat, and then we'll conclude the show with some chat, Q&A, and bold predictions. Elko rocks, great choice. I saw a Longhorn today trying to say that we made the wrong choice going with Elko over Jeff Traylor. Give me a break. But yes, Elko, great choice. I watched the K-State versus TU tape. I watched some of that recently too. K-State scored 7 points in the first half, made adjustments, ended up going to overtime, lost 30-33. Halftime adjustments will hit like crack. That was very impressive because what Texas did that game was just use those two beasts they had at defensive tackle and just totally shut down what Colin Klein wanted to do. Just out-talented the interior of that O-line, and they could not run or figure out what they were trying to do in the first half, and they figured it out and adjusted in the second half. I'm really happy with Colin Klein and excited for it, but how quickly can that stuff be enacted in a year one? That's my question. But yes, halftime adjustments are going to be awesome. You have to believe they're better than last year. Feinbaum gave Zwinnerman shit for saying A&M will go 10-2, but he said it. If Zwinnerman's saying it, that feels good to me. Tokyo checking in, watching during the typhoon that's hitting now. Well, stay safe, Ronnie, and thank you. Our Tokyo Aggie checking in as always. Always good to hear from you, Ronnie. Sark is known to be lazy in second half of his play calling. Sark is at his best on script. Every game. His scripted plays, and he scripts for a longer duration of the game than most coaches. That's when he's at his best, absolutely. I think it's hard for a coach to call an offense on the fly, and that's what Sark does, and he's found some success doing that, so credit to him there. Sark's at his best when he's scripted. So, if you don't know, I'm sure most of you know this, every team has a certain amount of plays scripted to start a game, and that's to kind of get a sense of how the defense is reacting. They want to attack what they have on film with what they think is going to work. They're going to try different things in different scripted situations and scripted plays. Sark happens to do that for a longer amount of time at the start of a game than other staffs. O-line's above average, you're winning 9 games. 100%. 100%. 11-1 all day. Yeah, you agree with that. Okay, I love it. Christopher says, what up? Good to see you, Christopher. Night crew in here. Realistic 7-point to 10-point win. It's on the table. If A&M's winning that game, they can win by that many points. It's not a blowout by any means, but A&M can win by a score and a half for sure. But we could lose by a score. We could lose by a score and a half. It's on the table. But I don't look at Notre Dame as this juggernaut where you can't win by 10 points at home. I mean, they're good, but I think A&M's good too. K-State completely blew that game too with that red zone trip at the end. Absolutely. Elko used to do that. We would look semi-vulnerable on defense in the first half and then come out second half and shut shit down. Yeah, good adjustments on both sides of the ball here, absolutely. Regarding halftime adjustments, both sides, we should be seeing it better. What time are we playing Arkansas? I think it's flex between noon or 11 and 12:30. So it'll be one of those morning to afternoon games. Chase Lane said on his podcast they already have the first 20 plays scripted before the game. Yes, every offense has the first 20 or so plays scripted, but for Sark, I think it's closer to like 30, 40 plays scripted, and it works for them. He's a good offensive play caller, but like I said, it's just hard to do that in the heat of a game. All right, guys, we're going to conclude the show with Q&A with you guys in the chat or bold predictions. So if you haven't gotten anything in, throw them in there right now. We're going to go through them from top to bottom. I'm going to go back to the chat at the beginning of the show, and we're going to go through some of what you guys are saying right now, and then we'll call it a show today. No calls today. We'll get back into the calls next week. Let's see what you guys are saying. Boom, boom, boom. We're talking about the jerseys here. Oh, come on. Come on. Okay, here's the first question. Henry says, who's playing if Connor goes down? It's a tough question. I go back and forth. I think Marcel Reed gives you that upside, guys. I really do. I think they would try Marcel. I think Marcel has that long-term upside. But I said this a couple shows ago. I think there's a world where Colin Klein throws a few packages in for non-Connor Wigman quarterbacks. So in the heat of a game, you might find a scenario where you want to run some gadget play, you want to run something different with a faster quarterback out there. I think in that situation, Jalen Henderson's the man off the bench. He's bigger, he's more mature, he can take a beating, and if you're going to do a run-first play with a quarterback, I'm throwing Jalen Henderson out there. But if Connor goes down, I think Marcel Reed gives you that upside overall as like your signal caller. I'm going to go Marcel in that question. Good question, Henry. But for, like I said, for the packages, if you see a second quarterback go out there for some sort of running option, RPO kind of play, I'm saying that's Henderson. Great question. Does A&M beat the Irish by 14, asks Eric. You're going up in number. I think this is more bold. Less likely as you get to that 2-touchdown range. Not totally off the table, but I don't think so. I start to feel less confident once you go two full touchdown wins. A full 2-touchdown win. Look, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's less likely than 10. You're asking for a 2 full touchdown win there. I would say no, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. I'm saying there's a chance. Good question. What else you guys asking? Bruce says, when the Aggies beat Notre Dame, what will the headlines be? And buddy, the Aggies are going to leave no doubt who's the better team. If they win, I know my headlines as an Aggie YouTube content creator, I'm almost going Aggies are going to the playoff in that situation. If you, maybe not, but I'm immediately confident in 9 or 10 wins if you beat Notre Dame. Now, I don't think I've said this publicly yet, but if A&M starts 3-0, you beat Notre Dame, you take care of business versus McNeese, and you go on the road and you beat Florida on the road, I will then predict that A&M's a playoff team. If A&M starts 3-0, Drew, me, I will call us a playoff team. But if A&M beats Notre Dame, I think A&M will get their love. I think A&M will get their love if it's somewhat of a convincing win. If it's a scrap and it's like a 1-point win, I think you'll see some national guys pointing at, well, Notre Dame wasn't 100%. They're breaking in a new quarterback, whatever. I think you might see some excuses. But if A&M goes out there and wins by a touchdown or more, I think you're going to see some belief in A&M and Elko early in the year. It's a good question. And yeah, dude, I've already said I'm going to spread so much positivity about A&M if they come out and win week 1. But I'll be spreading damn propaganda if we put up 30 points in a win versus Notre Dame. Because if you put up 30 points against that defense, that's the marker on the year. That's the bar set for your year on defenses you're going to face. So if that happens, I'm going crazy. There's a bold statement, a bold prediction. We're going to call it a bold prediction. Moose has a breakout senior year. From reports in camp, I don't know if Moose is starting game 1. It sounds like Cyrus Allen's giving him a run for his money. But I think he could still have a breakout senior year off the bench or in 4 receiver situations or as a sub off the bench or as a package guy. You just need some sort of consistency. Even if he's not a starter, you just need something from Moose game to game. And I think that would be considered a breakout, right? If you get productivity, if you get 50 yards a game from Moose, 40 yards a game, just game to game, doing something, I would look at that as a breakout. But if he's going to go crazy, he needs to win that starting spot and become the dude. Right now, Cyrus is giving him a run for his money, so it's pretty bold at this point. John, I didn't see you in there. He says, howdy. Good to see you, John Peroni, as usual. Zach Levine, the NBA player himself, is in here. Now, Z Levine 2011 says, how much of an improvement, if any, will we see on the offensive line based on that 5? So the 5 alone makes me feel good for a couple of reasons. You're moving Basantis into his natural position. We saw in the bowl game. We saw in spring. He's straight up a better player as a guard. And you get that offseason. We've heard, it's well documented. Super strong dude. Repping 600 plus on squat. He's a weight room champion. That's not exactly one-to-one like for game on-field playing capability, but it bodes well that he's improving there. I feel better about your personnel there. I feel good that Trey Zune had a healthy offseason. We're going to see the best Trey Zune yet, I think. Bryce Foster obviously regressed. I feel like you upgrade there with Fowey. That's an improvement. Right guard, Naboo needs to take a step forward. We have to see what happens there. Right tackle, you're going to upgrade there. Basantis, true freshman, playing out of position. You have an upperclassman leader, big dude, experienced dude, versatile dude, starting at right tackle. I feel like you have a personnel upgrade there. But the thing about the offensive line now, you have a lot of moving parts, a lot of new players, and you're enacting a first-year offensive scheme for these players. And it's a totally different scheme for this offensive line. Like I've said many times with Jimbo, mostly zone blocking. All 5 offensive linemen getting on a track, blocking a specific area, following a set of rules when it comes to combo blocking, double teaming up to the linebackers. Running backs, read the hole, hit the hole. In this offense, you're going to see more gap scheme. Totally different play call, different assignments for the offensive linemen. So it's a matter of them picking that up is really what's going to keep this offensive line from breaking through or not. That and basically become more consistent. Based on that 5, I feel very confident we're going to see an improvement. But how much of an improvement? That's the question of the offseason, Zach LaVine. That's the question we're all asking right now. Because like we've said a couple times, if it's above average, this is a 9-10 win team or more. I'm ready to say that. But that's the big question. If you get that and all your receivers pop, oh my goodness, the sky's the limit this year. Good question, Levine. I appreciate you chiming in. Let's see what else you guys are saying here. Boom, boom, boom. We've gotten through this. All right. Is the South Carolina Gamecocks that good, better than A&M? So I've done my deep dive into them, but here's what I know about them. They'll be solid on defense. I think they feel pretty good about what they have on defense. Not the deepest defense, but serviceable. Breaking in a new look at the offensive line. If you guys don't remember, one of the worst offensive lines you've seen in the last few years with South Carolina last year. Everything Spencer Rattler did last year was a miracle. They lose their receivers, but they have Lenore Sellers, a young, big-bodied, athletic quarterback they're very excited about. And they have Rocket Sanders now, one of the best running backs in the conference. They have that 1-2 combo on offense. They're not better than A&M. But if you go there and they're still somewhat alive, even if they're not, you know they're going to have a rocking crowd. Williams-Brice is always rocking. That's a great venue. Anything can happen if you're not ready to play that game. So no, they're not better than A&M. But they have some stuff they can catch you with. They might have a pretty nice running tandem there if their O-line improves. It's a good question. It's a fair question. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Q&A, guys. Last call for Q&A or bold predictions. Christopher says that's Reed for me. Yeah, Marcel Reed as the emergency guy. If Wegman goes down, you're trying to build with a guy. I'm also agreeing. It's Marcel Reed. We love Jalen, but Reed has more upside. Absolutely. But like I said, in running situations, if you want to run certain plays, I'm throwing Henderson out there. Just bulkier guy. If you're going to throw out there a guy in a play that he's probably going to get hit, I don't want to risk Reed Adams and his upside and his development with that kind of play. And I think we saw Jalen Henderson has some really good speed. We saw him breaking angles in the Mississippi State game. Very explosive running player, but Reed has that upside for sure. I love how Jalen got us through Connor's injury, but it's Reed for me, for sure. I agree. Reed's a young Reggie McNeil. Dude, honestly, Reed has some really good stuff, man. ESPN, if Ags beat Notre Dame, nothing to see here. Move on. If they win convincingly, you will see it. But if it's a close game, you're not going to get the love, I don't think, from a national perspective. But we'll feel really good for sure. I think if A&M starts 3-0, confidence is high, A&M makes the playoffs. I'm in total agreement. That's my statement. A&M starts 3-0, I'm going to shift my prediction to a 10-win season for sure. Or 11. I mean, those are 2 really losable games and early in a new tenure hurdles you're getting through. The odds are in your favor if you get through that, for sure. Moose will forever be a weird player. NFL potential, but can't start. Does he have NFL potential if he can't figure out how to start in college? Let's just see what happens. Let's not get ahead of things. Moose can figure things out. I feel better about this O-line now that Adazio and Jimbo are gone. It feels like a breath of fresh air. Absolutely, it does, man. I was having this discussion on X today. You can point a lot of fingers at a lot of players who played bad on the offensive line last year. Bryce Foster comes to mind. Chase Basantis out of position comes to mind. Layden Robinson kind of taking a step back after showing some promise comes to mind. But you really got to point the finger at the guy who failed to develop them, right? Adazio. Adam Cushing has a really good track record, guys. Adam Cushing's done some really good things over the last 7 years or so. He's been around a while for being a younger 44-year-old coach. It's a great voice to have in that locker room. And with a whole new offensive scheme to go to work with. I feel really good about it. Dude is just the gamer. He's got to be that. He just doesn't get it done in practice. Yeah, I think at this point, it's safe to assume that Moose just isn't a practice player. Brings the best off-script, in-games, crazy plays, one-handed grabs. We know this. That's when he's at his best. I think if they can beat Mizzou, I think you can say 10 wins. Well, yeah. Mizzou, to me, is a big swing game, right? Because I think it's pretty likely that A&M could slip up in those first 3 games, 1 loss, and you're going into Mizzou with 1 loss. I think that's likely, right? I mean, pretty likely. If you beat Missouri, it's all back on the table. Or if you're undefeated and you beat Missouri, anything is possible, man. Missouri's a tough one, though. It's going to be a shootout. Is this offense clicking by then? Great show, Andrew. Thanks. How's the highlight reel coming? I don't have one this year. It's next year. Next year highlight reel after we get a year of Elko. I love how Play to Win calls me Andrew. I appreciate that. I think we beat Notre Dame 31-14 with a garbage time touchdown for them to go 31-7. 2 minutes left in the fourth. Look, I love it. I don't think it's likely, but I love it. And if it happens, I'm going crazy, man. So if we win and it's like a feel-good win, I'm at the game. I'm going live on my walk after the game. I'm going to go live on YouTube. So if you guys aren't at the game, I'm going to walk through Northgate. I'm going to narrate it. We're just going to walk and take it in, man, because we're going to be on cloud 9. As is, that's going to be one of the best. That might be the best Kyle Field atmosphere ever, honestly. That might be it. New coach, Notre Dame in town, college game day in town, primetime slot. There's a chance the attendance record gets broken in game 1 this year. 31, 11, whatever, 31-7, 31-14. I mean, I'm shitting my pants. Zaddy Zach says, we lose against Florida. Every away game I've been to, we've lost, and I'm going to Florida this year. Don't go. Just wait outside the stadium. We need to freaking fix that trend, man. It's been too damn long since we've won on the road. This year, I mean, it's not bold. I'm going to say it. We're winning a away game this year. We're breaking that streak this year. But we need to do it more than once. We need to win multiple games on the road this year, obviously. Maybe it's Florida. If we beat Florida, dude, that's such a big hurdle to get over. Like, it's a big us hurdle. I know Florida is not at their height, but for us to go on the road and do that, I'll feel so much better, 100%. Only a few questions left in chat, guys. Last-minute questions, last-minute bold predictions, throw them in there. Alabama game, our D played well on the line, but gave up the big plays to the receivers. Yeah, they eventually figured out they could just throw the ball deep against us and get the ball out before we got pressure on them. DeBerry and company, Javen Thomas, those guys couldn't get it done versus a more experienced team. We made lesser men look like Randy Moss. Is it Mizzou 11 a.m.? It is. It's an 11 a.m. game, unfortunately. I'm making it a pact. We're making it a pact together. We're showing up early to that Missouri game. If you drink for these games, I don't partake in like getting drunk for games because I like to focus on the games. But if you do, that's your prerogative. That's good for you. Get drunk early. Get ready early. I'm not advocating for drinking and driving. Do your thing early. Get ready for this game. We need Kyle Field crazy early and often. That offense is going to be serious this year. One of the best offenses in the country, possibly. Oh, Andrew's your brother's name, so you like using it. I respect it. I respect it. Drew is my nephew's name, by the way. All right, all right. Northgate will be a madhouse, and I'm going to document it, guys. I'm going live after the Notre Dame win, when it's a win. It's me, says gun to head. Who leads the teams in sacks and touchdowns? I love this question. This is fun. This is fun. All right, let's start with sacks. You have Shamar Turner, Shamar Stewart, Nick Scorton. Gun to head, you're making me bet. I'm going with experience. I'm going with a guy who's done it before. I'm going Nick Scorton. All right, let's make a point here. Let's make a point. I made this point in my defensive line video. Shamar Stewart, right? Breakout potential this year. He's not that far away from being that dude. So 6 hurries last year, in the backfield all the time, taking a step forward in his development, his natural progression as a player. He could be getting sacks this year. But that's also heightened by the fact that you have, instead of Fadil Diggs on the other side of the line, who is a solid player but not a guy that really gets after the quarterback consistently, you have Nick Scorton there now. So you're looking at a pocket that's falling apart, right? Because like a pocket's all about angles. There's a reason a quarterback steps up in the pocket and can navigate a pocket as he's trained to do so. But as one side of the pocket develops and breaks down with a guy like Nick Scorton and Shamar Turner pushing on one side, winning their battles on one side, and the quarterback adjusts to that, that creates new angles for the other side of the defensive line. So let's say it flushes him out the other way, right into Shamar Stewart's lap. But if Shamar Stewart's taking that step forward, that works both ways. Let's say Shamar Stewart gets the pressure and he pushes it Nick Scorton's way. So that thing that works, that I've been saying works in Shamar Stewart's favor, that's going to work in Turner and Scorton's favor as well. So that being said, gun to head, I'm going Nick Scorton. Best player, I think, on this D-line, game 1, although Shamar Stewart and Shamar Turner have that upside. I'm going Scorton, safe pick. Touchdowns, it's Connor Wigman, but outside of Connor, I'm going to go Le'Veon Moss. I think he's your short yardage back. I think he's your bell cow. I think he'll have a couple of explosive plays this year. He'll have a couple of 40-yard touchdowns, maybe a couple more, maybe more yards than that. He's faster and more explosive than I think people give him credit for. So I'm going to go Le'Veon Moss outside of Connor Wigman to lead this team in touchdowns. A fun one that could have a lot of touchdowns this year, though, I think is Noah Thomas. Like I said, red zone threat, just a big body, throw those fades, throw those corner routes. I think Noah Thomas could have a lot of touchdowns this year. But sacks, Scorton, touchdowns, Le'Veon. Christopher says, who gets snaps at running back first, Bussy or Dalton Brooks? All right. Let me be clear before I say this. I don't think either are lining up at running back, but there could be a situation where Bussy gets motioned into the backfield for a handoff, kind of like Anias would sometimes. Neither are running backs. I'm going to go Terry Bussy because I think Bussy's already getting looks on offense. I don't think Brooks is getting looks on offense at all. I think they're relying on him as a down-to-down starter on defense. I have high hopes for Dalton Brooks as safety or maybe nickel this year. The week of the Mizzou game, I'm going to that, then a 6 p.m. game in Houston. My brother is coaching, and then flying to Denver for a Raiders game on Sunday. So you're going to 3 games that week, and that is awesome. I haven't done the 2-for-1 in quite a while. When I was a student, I went to a game at Texas versus, I don't remember who it was against, and then I went to the game at A&M. I think it was reversed. I think A&M had the noon kickoff, and then Texas kicked off at 6. I went to both. It's exhausting, but it's awesome, especially if your team wins. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, Mr. McGavin Price. Going to be an epic football weekend. It's me, says me too, on my predictions for touchdown and sack leaders. All right, guys. If we have no more bold predictions or questions, that is the show. So, guys, it's getting closer. Time has slowed down for me. I'm itching, man. I just want to hit fast forward, but we got to savor it. We got to just really think about this team, break it down, enjoy it. Because like I always say, as soon as the season starts, we're halfway done, and then it's over. Everything's on the table. We think this team can do everything that's possible. We just have to see it play out. Super exciting time. So here's the schedule of the next couple of days. Like I said, breakout player watch list part 2 is coming out. In my part 1, I think I focused on mainly players who were kind of banking on, who are very likely to break out. Part 2 of my breakout players watch list will be the next video I post. And that one will be some more obscure guys deep into that receiver room on that offensive line. Maybe a couple DBs that can make a name for themselves. Get a little bit more fun and into the weeds there. Then I have a player tier list to make for you guys. We're going to throw, I'm going to go online and they have this tier list maker online. I think you guys have probably seen that. We're going to throw a bunch of our main players into some tiers. That'll be a lot of fun. And then next week, it's time. It's time for me to put pen to paper, put my prediction out there for everybody to see. End of next week, my official season prediction for the year will be dropping. So guys, on your way out, if you could drop a like and a sub, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Gig 'em. No Collins tonight, Love Shack. Next show we'll do Collins again. Next show we'll do Collins again. All right, guys. Y'all have a great night.